Monday evening, 6 o'clock, and you wake up to news at 6. It's the 21st day of March 2022. I am Deliverance Asheb, and I'm here with.
Ahiana bless everyone.
In the news headlines, in the Volta region, where police arrest 12 commercial sex workers at all allegedly involved in criminal activities.
NDC begins house-to-house campaign ahead of 2024 elections.
This and many more stories we have for you if you stay with us in the next 30 minutes. Now, the stories in detail. The police in Ho in the Volta region has arrested some 12 commercial sex workers at Mirage Park for their alleged involvement in criminal activities. The arrests were made on Saturday, the March 19, 2022, following a joint operation by personnel from the Police Intelligence and Operation Unit. The arrests are part of efforts by the police in the whole municipality to clamp down on criminal activities. From reports gathered, some of these commercial sex workers have been working as prosecutors to many other criminal activities, such as break-ins, robbery, and others. Intelligence gathered also point to the involvement of some commercial sex workers in the recent incident of murder within the whole municipality. The arrested commercial sex workers who are now being treated as suspects include Flourish Sampson, that is 25, Gifty Blessing, 26, Gloria John, 25, Blessing Sunday, 23, Soria Asari, 24, and Chiamaka Ekulin, 23. The others are Tosin Deli Ada, 35, Rahel Francis, 24, Grace Paul, 28, Annabelle John, 20, Julia Chiamaka, 25, Oswald John 20. Sources tell Modern Ghana News that the police plans to sustain its operation as it aims to bring to book all commercial sex workers involved in the criminality. The 12 suspects are to be screened and those found to be involved in criminality will be processed and arraigned before court. Into our next story, where Damperi assures family of murdered former lecturer of justice, Dr. George Ekufo Damperi, the Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service, has assured the family of the late Mr. Stephen Lanton Mani, a former lecturer of Dr. Hilan Liman Technical University, of a thorough investigation into the circumstances that led to his death. A statement from the family of the lecturer in Wa and signed by Ghana News Agency said the interest of the Inspector General of the Police and other top personalities within the Ghana Police Service, including the Director General of Public Affairs and the Deputy Director of General Criminal Investigation Department, the CID, had revived their confidence in the justice system. The Inspector General of Public, the Director General of Public Affairs, and the Deputy Director General, that is the CID, have separately called the family and assured of prompt and thorough investigation into the killing. The show of interest by the National Police Administration, including the personal attention being accorded the matter by the Inspector General of Police, is quite soothing and reassuring. It has revived the family's belief in the country's criminal justice system, the statement said. The statement, however, expressed hope that the interests of the top hierarchy of the police service would be sustained until the matter came to a logical conclusion. The family, on its part, continues to assure the police administration of its readiness to cooperate with and assist the police in the investigation and prosecution of the gruesome killing, the statement added. Mr. Mami reportedly died of gunshots at Sneed, a suburb of Wa, on Thursday, March 17, during a disputed land issue between two. The family of the late lecturer had on Friday, March 18, called on the Inspector General of Police and the necessary authorities within the police service to intervene to assure that the deceased received justice. Meanwhile, a statement from the Ghana Police Service, signed by DCOP Kwesi Ofori, Director General of Public Affairs, said the CID of the police headquarters had taken over the investigation into the incident. It assured the family that anyone found culpable of the offense would be dealt with according to the dictates of the law. Into our last social news, woman stabbed and robbed in broad daylight in Aden town. A hidden camera filmed the moment of robbery on a roadway in the Greater Accra region, Adenta metropolis. According to the video, the incident took place in the Adenta Smith Flats area when a robber allegedly assaulted a victim. He allegedly stabbed the victim while removing the values for him. A motorcycle arrived on time and the robber was assisted in escaping. The only alternative for the onlookers was to watch him with their mouth. Drivers passing by couldn't help since the victim was remained helpless on the ground. The footage was published on social media by journalist Giovanni Caleb, who wrote, "A street robbery was supported today in the Adenta Smith Flats neighborhood as witnessed on social media. Residents in the neighborhood should be especially cautious and not carry valuables with them when going alone. Everyone should be safe." Additional information: the taxi driver was unable to assist since the robbers were armed, as were his passengers, a nursing mother, and 2 kids on board. Coming up as political news.
In politics, the opposition National Democratic Congress constituency secretary in the Akachi South constituency in the Volta region, Honorable Daniel Dakwa, has condemned President Nana Ado's government for the country's hardship. Speaking to the media, the NDC bigwig in the Akachi South constituency claimed that the projected e-levy implementation is unfair and indicates the government's severe lack of empathy for Ghanaians. Since the inception of President Nana Ado's government, life in Ghana became extremely difficult, he stated. He claims that the minority e-levy squabble in Parliament was a fight for Ghana's democracy, and that despite the Supreme Court's verdict, it is asthmatic for a Speaker of Parliament to preside over proceedings and vacate his or her seat so that he or she can vote. The Akati South constituency scribe of the National Democratic Congress (NDC) has praised and urged the minority caucus in Parliament to be steadfast in their opposition to the proposed electronic transaction levy (e-levy). Mr. Dagba believes that if the e-levy is approved, it will aggravate the misery of ordinary Ghanaians and inflict untold hardship among the Ghanaian youth. Away from that story, 3 suspects have been arrested in connection with a recent attack on the constituency office of the MP Bibiane Bekwai, Honorable Alfred Obeng Boateng. The suspect, Mr. Anima Jacob, a non-NPP communication director for Bibiane, Mr. Cosmos Apia, and Mr. Tanu Kennedy were arrested last Thursday night and were put before the Bibiane Circuit Court the following day. They have been charged with robbery, causing unlawful damage, and attempts to commit crime. A police prosecutor, Detective Chief Inspector Benjamin Owusu Ajimai, told the court that on Tuesday, 15th March 2022, the accused persons went to the MP's constituency office with a bail leave from Sesherioso High Court to serve Mr. Solomon Buama, who is the MP's special aide, with a rate committal contempt, but rather resorted to breaking into the office, although it was locked. The incident is linked with the NPP's electoral process to pick new officers at the grassroots, which has witnessed widespread agitation and violence in some cases. Some disgruntled members have also resorted to the court to stop the process. Into our last political news, Deputy General Secretary for the National Democratic Congress, Peter Boama Otukuno, has announced that the largest opposition political party in Ghana has started their door-to-door campaign ahead of 2024 general election. According to him, the NDC has noted the current government is to plunge the people of Ghana into economic hardship. He adds that rate of corruption and the incompetence displayed by the government has had an adverse effect on the country that need rescue. Cost of living in the country since the beginning of 2022 has skyrocketed, with prices of fuel increasing each day and has affected the prices of goods and even services in the country. Coming up is business news.
Let's do some news here on Ghana News at 6. Ken Ofori-Atta to update Ghanaians on new economic measure this week after the cabinet retreat. The Ministry of Information has announced that the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, will provide details on new economic measures after consultation with some stakeholders. In a statement released by the ministry dated March 21, 2022, and it said the new measures were attained at the just ended cabinet retreat and will help alleviate the current economic discomfort in the country. The president, after chairing cabinet's first retreat in 2022, has approved a number of measures aimed at solving cedi depreciation, expenditure cuts, and some relief in the face of the fuel hikes. These measures will be announced by the finance minister, who at the moment is engaging key economic stakeholders. Cabinet embarked on its quarterly retreat between the 17th and 20th of March 2022 at the Predrasi Lodge in Abri. The meeting reportedly ended with some substantive measures put in place to help stabilize the economy. Into our next business news, local inflation, world market price not the cause of its constant depreciation. Togbi Afede the 14th. The paramount chief and the Agbogu Mafia of the Asogli state, Togbi Afede the 14th, has indicated that the poor performance of the Ghanaian cedi is the major cause of the price of fuel products in the country. Since January 2022, the price of fuel at the local pumps have witnessed astronomical increase. Just last week, the price of fuel, including petrol and diesel at the pumps, hit 10 cedis per litre. Sharing his thoughts on the situation that has left many Ghanaians worried over the hardship bound to follow, Togbi Afede the 14th says it won't be the right to put blame on local inflation or the international market. Speaking to the board and management of the National Petroleum Authority (NPA) after they paid a courtesy call on him at the hole in the Volta region, the renowned businessman stressed that the high cost of fuel in the country is a result of the cedi depreciation. So it is not local inflation per se, neither is it about world market price or crude, but falling value of cedi. That is a big challenge. I was surprised when yesterday I heard the cedi has crossed the 8 cedis mark to the dollar. When you imagine that only recently the cedi was 5 cedis to the dollar, it means the 8 cedi to the dollar is a 60% jump over a short period. This means that even if the gold price is still the same, the effect will have meant a 60% rise in the local price of petroleum products, Togbi Afede the 14th said. Taking turns to speak, the Chief Executive Officer, the CEO for the NPA, Mr. Mustafa Hamid, gave the assurance that its outfit and government are working to implement measures to address the fuel price hikes in the country. Up next is health news.
In Ghana's health, the Parliamentary Health Committee has called on Kweku Agyemang-Manu, Minister for Health, to brief the committee on the general COVID situation in the country. The minister will also brief the committee on the dispatcher and port of entry COVID protocols to be observed by Ghanaians and foreigners traveling into the country. According to Inisa Mohammed Baba, clerk to the committee, the meeting is necessary because the committee has had numerous petitions and complaints from the public and travelers into the country. President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo is currently chairing a crunch cabinet meeting at the Pedrase Lodge, where the government will be discussing the opening of the borders of the country. This meeting is being attended by all ministers of state, government appointees, as well as all NPP MPs and the leadership of the governing New Patriotic Party. Meanwhile, John Dramani Mahama called on the government to review the cost of the PCR test at the airport. Away from that, the Ghana Health Service has announced a surge in measles cases across the country. According to the Ghana Health Service, the Greater Accra region has recorded 2 confirmed cases of measles and 2 confirmed cases of rubella. In a statement issued by the Acting Director of Health Service, Agdet Ganot, Dr. Mameya Inshira Esel, the Ghana Health Service outlined some actions it has put in place to respond to the surge. All health facilities and municipal public health staffs are to strengthen the detection of suspected cases across all levels of care, while routine immunization is to be strengthened to reach all eligible children with the measles rubella vaccine. Additionally, there will be health education on early reporting to health facilities as well as the benefits of immunization, which the Ghana Health Service said should be strengthened in all regions. It also reminded the general public of the signs and symptoms of measles, including dry cough, running nose, sore throat, inflamed eyes, and skin rash. Symptoms of rubella include sore throat, fever, headache, swollen lymph nodes in the head or neck, and a cough. Coming up is entertainment news.
Welcome to the entertainment segment. Our headlines: I will sue the military band if the man I slap isn't arrested. Ifya Swasnega. I was paid 40 cedis after shooting a Kumawood movie 5 months ago, Brother Sami. My child could have been 1 year old if the father had accepted him. Abina Koko admits getting pregnant for one of the men she slept with. The stories in detail. Ifya Swasnega has threatened to sue the armed forces military band if the man she slapped is not arrested. Condemning the military band for engaging the service of an impotent who misbehaved at her funeral, Ifya Swasnega said she never hired the service of a civilian band for some of these reasons. Ifya Swasnega, while stating her reason earlier, said the man in question forcibly harassed his sister for money which was being spread at the funeral ground. Moving away from that story, Ghanaian gospel musician Brother Sami has disclosed the amount of money he was given when he shot a movie scene with some Kumawood actors. Speaking on United television showbiz, the hilarious worshipper said after he was invited by Dr. Laiki and Papa Kwesi to cast in a skit and a series, he was given 40 cedis, and also in a different Kumawood set with the late actor Bishop Bernard Nyako, an amount of 50 cedis was given to him. Moving into our last story, Ghanaian former TV presenter self-claimed sexual and mental health expert Abina Koko has finally disclosed that she has been pregnant before. A lot of people have been wondering if all the 100 men she slept with even succeed in impregnating her. Well, she has finally come out to reveal that she has gotten pregnant before. According to Abina Koko, in a recent tweet, she got pregnant, but unfortunately for her, her baby daddy didn't want any to do with the child. Also, in her medications made it impossible for her to keep the child. As a result, she was forced to get rid of it. Abina further that her child could have been a year and a few months ago today.
And this brought to the end of today's news at 6, but then a recap of our top stories.
In the Volta region, where police arrested 12 commercial sex workers for involving in criminal activities.
And NDC begins house-to-house campaign ahead of 2024 elections. But before we go, these 12 commercial sex workers, like, now my question is, what do we gain in sex work? Like when we are doing this kind of work, what do we gain?
It's not their fault. Sometimes I don't blame them.
Yeah. Now it's all about the system.
It
You know,
choke.
the way the system is running.
It choke
So,
everywhere.
They try to do that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know something? Listening to the names you mentioned, most of them are not Ghanaian.
Yes, most of them are not Ghanaians. Especially some of the main names are like Tosin, Blessing, Samson, Flourish. They are not Ghanaians.
No.
And you can see some of the surnames too, they are not Ghanaians, they are out from Ghana.
Yeah.
Yes, so
it's not easy. It's not easy to leave your home to another
Country.
home.
See?
That?
Yeah.
this system that we are in now too, when you are educated, there's no work for you.
Yeah.
Hereby the 2022 budget statement said cyber security,
Yeah.
youth employment, entrepreneurship,
Oh God.
but nothing is happening.
We are not seeing anything.
Yes, I
Yeah,
remember
so-
someone telling me that if I get a handiwork, I should take it serious
Yes.
because it choke everywhere.
It's choke. Like you will not get it. And
So
please,
maybe that is what they can also do for a living.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are the handiwork.
I want to like tell our listeners and our viewers that measles is back. Measles is back, and this measles, when you don't take good care of it, if you
yeah.
don't treat it, sometimes when it comes to before it leaves, it will leave another damage.
Yes.
Yes, so we should.
You might think you are preventing this one, but when you are done with this one, another one too is waiting.